When we get to cucumbers, there's a lot of different varieties on the market again. There's small ones that are good for pickling or gherkins. You can get the larger varieties that are going to grow, say, 8 to 10 inches long, just for slicing, what I would call a typical cucumber. This variety is called patio snacker. It's a compact plant. It will only get probably 2 to 3 foot in width and much more profuse flowering and fruiting than the other varieties of cucumbers I've ever tried. If you only try one variety of cucumber, this is by far the best one. So I've been on the market for a few years now, and I'm going to plant one in the middle of the garden, and it'll just maybe get up to the edge of the wood here, and that'll be it. And never seen a cucumber produce so many fruits. Again, about 2.5 to 3 feet apart to give them room to grow. Again, just soil level in the pot, level with the garden soil. And then we have another variety of cucumber. This one is a called English Telegraph. It's going to be a much narrower, longer one that sometimes you buy in the store through the winter, and excellent for slicing and eating fresh. A little larger growing one, so I'm going to put it on the edge of the garden here. And if it gets big, it can fall over the wall's edges later on in the season, and that doesn't seem to bother it. So remember, once you've planted all your melons and tomatoes and peppers, keep an eye out on the weather forecast, because there is a chance that you get a late frost. You'll have to come out and find a way to cover, and just putting a little plastic pot over it on a hard frost is not enough. You have to have a little bit more protection than that. So we're going to put one more variety of tomato in. This is a variety called Celebrity, and it's very much a disease insect resistant variety that's been on the market for several years already. I really like it. And we're just going to put 4 in, and like we talked about earlier, remove some of the bottom leaves, and we're going to plant these deeper than the soil on top of the pot here. Sometimes at the nursery you can find really large plants, and you'll say, oh, they're really tall and they're a little bit floppy. Don't worry about it, because the fact that you can plant them, 6 inches deeper than what they are at the nursery, then you have a very big plant. And by putting them in the ground deep, you get the support that you need. Oh. A lot of people will tell us that they have trouble growing peppers in the garden, and there's a couple things to remember. A, peppers are a very hot weather crop. They do not like cool, they do not like damp soil that never drains out. So the sunnier spot in the garden that you can find, the better. And when you water them too, don't overwater the peppers. They like to be a little bit on the dry side as opposed to being on the wet side. Most other stuff can use lots of water. Peppers, skip them every once in a while. This one's a Golden Star variety. It's a bell pepper, easy to grow as long as you have good sunny spot. The peppers don't get as large as the tomatoes, so we don't have to put them quite as far apart. Just plant them at soil level, do not plant deep. Just lightly press them into the ground again. You can see they're well rooted already from at the nursery. So it's just a matter of getting them into some good soil. Earlier in the season we did some green onions already. This time we're going to plant some red ones. A lot of people like the red onions instead of the yellow ones, because the red variety especially is a little more spicy, and a lot of people like to chop them up and put them in their salads. So we're going to plant a little bit. I don't plant the whole bag. There's about 100 onions in the bag, more than I need at this time. And we're only going to put, say, 20 or so in. And then maybe in about 4 weeks, I'll take the bag back out and I'll do another row a little further in the garden. And that way I have young ones. So this one's already been sprouting in the bag. can't wait to get in the soil. The rest of them pointed, goes up. You see a little button on the bottom where the roots were, that goes down. I just push them in the ground, only about 2 inches apart, because what we're going to do is, as these start to grow, once they're about this high, I'm going to start pulling every other one out and use them in my salad greens and let the other ones grow a little bit bigger. So I just keep going down the road, take every other one out, or sometimes I'll get one that grows really big and I'll pull it out and let the smaller ones beside it continue to grow. Most people tend to put everything in the garden all at one time and it's all ready at the same time. But it's nice to have fresh new stuff, and that especially goes with onions and lettuce. Don't be in a hurry. Got lots of time to plant several crops. These are pushed in the ground far enough. I'm not even going to put any soil over top of them. The last batch we did too, we just pressed them in the ground, left them there, and they're already up about 4 inches.